Hello everyone. Hyundai Motor India recently launched the i20 N Line, marking the Sporty brand's debut in the Indian market. How significant is this for Hyundai's scheme of things in the Indian market? To know more about it, we have with us Mr. Tarun Garg, Director, Sales, Marketing and Service. Mr. Garg, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Dipanshu, for having me here.
So, Mr. Garg, we'll start off with the first question. How significant is the launch of the N Line products in the Indian market?
It is actually a very, very significant aspect. You know, when we see the N Line range, it has really done very well globally. It is now spread across 40 countries and we have 11 models across the range. And when we did a market research in India, what we found out was that there were many young customers, who were inspired by the WRC, World Rally Championship. And these cars, they were very excited to have a sporty, fun-loving car like this, because it really reflects who they are, Because these are the people who want something very different in their car. They don't want to really be a part of the crowd, but they want to stand out. They want those, funny experiences every day, sporty looking. They want accessorization. They want turbo. They want sunroof. So many things, and we believe that N Line range will usher in a new era of sporty looking cars in India.
So when you talk about the market size for sporty looking products in the Indian market, how big is the opportunity?
Look, this is a very important question you have asked, As Hyundai, we believe that, there's no fun in really entering only when there's a market exists. Sometimes you need to really create a market. And I believe that we are now rightly poised to do so. And why I say that is because when we see over the last 2 years, a lot of changes have happened in the Hyundai's customer. The top 2 trim percentage has really gone up dramatically. The accessorization has gone up. And when we talk about especially the compact hatches, premium compact hatches, now they contribute the biggest share of the compact hatches, the premium hatches, as we call them hot hatch. So I think it's the right time when we know that our customer is young, he's looking at Hyundai with a lot of interest. He's also wanting a product, which is matching his needs. I believe this is the right time to really go for an N Line in India.
Okay. What are your expectations from the i20 per se? You have talked about the premium hatchbacks and how people are really accepting them more. What are your expectations?
No, actually, if you see, i20 customer is one of the youngest in our portfolio, and there are a lot of first-time buyers, who are buying an i20. And we also see people really go for a lot of accessorization. So we believe, and of course, i20 has a legacy of a World Rally Championship as well. So I think all these things combined make a perfect case for us to having been launched N Line range with the i20. So we believe that this will really give those customers, young customers who were anyway going for i20, something more to really look forward to. Like for example, there are many things here, like sunroof. Sunroof is a hygiene, across all the 3 variants, N6 and 2 variants in N8, sunroof is a must. Then we have the turbo engine, which is again a hygiene. Then we have 2 powertrains in IMT and DCT. So what I'm trying to say is not only the customer is getting, that kind of a thrill, because the engine gives a 120 PS of power, but those changes in the exteriors and the interiors really are going to really make him very, very happy.
So you talked about a market survey which you have done across your, across the consumers. Now, what are the different opportunities you see within the N Line? What more products can you actually bring into the market?
So that is interesting, and as you know, of course, this is the first product. And as I told you earlier, there are 11 products already in the international markets. So we have a lot of options to choose from. So we have to see which body type to really go for. Maybe SUVs in the future, maybe sedans. So we'll look at all the options. We'll do again a market study and then decide which could be the next product. But what I can promise you is there are going to be more products in the years to come.
So N Line will continue to be a very important segment within Hyundai's portfolio in the market.
Yes, we believe that this is going to really give a lot to the brand as well. Because these are the customers who shape the markets, they are the ones who are aspirational and who all the others also look up to. They are very different and they can really, kind of influence even others. And that is why, in fact, when you see the marketing campaign also, it is a very, very special marketing campaign which we have designed for the N Line. The tagline is, "It's time to play." We have used animated characters, we are using digital comics, and a very different kind of influencer campaign also is in the pipeline. So I think all in all, a 360-degree approach to really take care of this very special customer of Hyundai.
How do you plan to really go about the distribution network, for the N Line products in the market?
So this is interesting again, because what we have seen is that this customer, is kind of digital, because he starts his journey on a digital note and then maybe ends it in the showroom. He has some different expectations. So what we are doing is this N Line is being exclusively launched through our 188 signature outlets, where the executives have been trained specially to take care of this kind of a customer, not only the software aspects, but also on the product front, also on the digital initiatives. Also when he goes for the service, there are personal mobility advisors who are going to really take care of all the needs of the customer. So all in all, we really want to give a total comprehensive 360-degree experience to this very special customer.
Very interesting, Mr. Garg. Moving on from the N Line products to your customer, your conventional product categories. SUVs, of course, are dominating the market, and we understand that it's already over 45% of the overall market. How do you see this panning out in the future?
Look, in fact, SUVs have taken the Indian market by storm, and in 2015, the contribution of SUVs to the overall market was only about 13%, and last year it was 29%, and already till August it is 36%. As far as in Hyundai portfolio is concerned, now it is closing in on 50%. So very clearly, and of course we are now the #1 SUV maker in the country. So we take a lot of pride in having those 5 SUVs which are very different and which cater to all the needs, SUV needs of the Indian customer. They have really loved it. In fact, the recently launched Alcazar 6 and 7-seater SUV is again getting some rave reviews and great response from the customers. So the whole idea is the customer choices are really changing. Customers are evolving. They are now looking more at the value proposition rather than only the price, and that is what we can see, that high-end products are selling more. And even in the the N Line range, we launched the price. We announced the price 2 days back, and it has really taken the market by storm, because in about 50,000 rupees, a customer is getting so many features, whether it is exteriors, interiors, and so many other features as well. Plus, that sunroof being in hygiene, turbo being in hygiene. So there are a lot of things to look forward to, and we believe that this is the new age India. This customer is reflecting the new age India, and probably going forward, as India becomes more and more younger, these are the customers who are going to shape the Indian auto industry going forward.
Excellent. What about the hatchback, the smaller hatchbacks? We understand that the premium hatchback is, of course, you're getting the first-time buyers to go in for the premium B segment vehicles. How do you look at this segment really growing in the coming years?
Look, as far as Hyundai is concerned, we look at each segment, in fact, you would have seen over the last 2 years, not only did we launch the i20, we also launched the Aura. Before that, we launched the Nios. So we have always looked at each segment, and wherever there's an opportunity, we go ahead and do it. So in terms of the compact hatches, yes, as a percentage, probably the share is shifting towards premium hatches and towards SUV. But as in numbers, as volumes, as an overall segment, it is still a very big segment. With Nios, we are getting some very good traction. We have launched the CNG in Nios, which is again getting some excellent response from the customers. So the idea is India car penetration still is about 27 per thousand. So there's a lot of upside, and I'm sure that each segment has a lot of potential to tap, and it's there for us to grab.
How do you look at the opportunity within the MPV product portfolio?
So look, like I said, MPVs are very kind of unique, functional kind of a niche which exists in the market. Yes, probably there have been a lot of model launches there, and some of the fellow competition have got some response. So we look at, like I said, we are looking at every segment. Last 2 years, almost 11-12 models have been launched. So we will study, and as and when we feel it's the right time and we have the right product, then we look at each segment, whether it is MPV, whether it is premium hatch, whether it is SUV. It's an ongoing thing. For us, what is most important is to study the customer trends and then see where an opportunity exists, and when we are ready, we marry the two and bring the product.
You talked about CNG. So my next question is, when we're looking at alternate fuel options, how do you see that as a percentage growing, considering there's a lot of talk about electrification? How do you see the alternate fuel category growing?
So I think that's a very, very important aspect now. With the fuel prices going up, customers are looking at all the alternate options. Of course, in 2019, Hyundai launched the EV, Kona EV, and it was one of the first SUVs fully electric vehicle in India with a range of 450 kilometers. We have got some very good response. We are already working on a mass market EV, which we have announced that probably in 3 years' time we should be launching it. CNG for entry level looks a very good proposition. In fact, about 6 months back, we were doing about 2,000 a month CNG. Now we are already doing more than 4,000. Going forward, maybe 5,000 a month, which means 50-60,000 a year. So CNG appears to be a very good option in the entry level. Diesel looks to be a very good option in the SUV space, and of course we have the electrics to look forward to. We also have the Turbo BS6. So the whole idea is being a complete manufacturer. Hyundai is able to really provide all kinds of fuel options, all kinds of powertrain options to its customers. Because India is so big and so different. Every state is different, every category is different. I think as long as you give the customer a choice, then it's up to him to really go ahead and pick up whatever he wants.
Okay. And you've also already talked about mass market EV that you plan to bring in. Now, if you look at as a strategy for Hyundai, what would it take for Hyundai as a company to make EVs mass market really?
I think that's a very, very good question, and we'll have to look at the entire ecosystem, because what is a mass market EV? Mass market EV is that bigger chunk of the population can really look at it in terms of affordability. So that is the first part, that how do we really localize so much of stuff which we, because otherwise the duties are so high that it would not be possible to price it right. The second thing is of course on the charging infrastructure as well. So we believe in the next 2.5-3 years, this ecosystem that I'm talking about will be built. We are also in touch with so many vendors to really look at, okay, how can we really localize and manufacture those EVs in India, because only then we'll be able to really make it mass market at the right price.
Now, considering the current market situation, Mr. Garg, of course there are several challenges, right? The industry got it's a double whammy of sorts. You have the COVID pandemic effect, and then we have the supply side challenges with the semiconductor shortage. Give me a perspective in terms of how is Hyundai placed? Of course, it's a challenge. And how do you look at the future?
Okay, your first question was on the demand side, of course, the COVID pandemic. But let me tell you, I mean, post-COVID-1 and post-COVID-2, this shift towards personal mobility has really, really helped to really propel up the demand. So demand seems to be pretty good, and of course we have the festival season has started with the Onam. The response was great, and now we are entering into the Ganesh Chaturthi, and then of course going forward into the Navratras and the Dussehra and then Diwali. So demand seems to be pretty good. Vaccination pace seems to be very good. Of course, the third wave of COVID, the sword is still hanging. We have to see. As far as the supply side is concerned, the semiconductor issue is putting a kind of an issue which we have to still deal with. Of course, it's not new because we have been dealing with this issue for the last now 1 year. The problem has a little bit accelerated in the recent past, but we believe that as Hyundai, there are some things which are beyond our control. But we look at things which we can control, our procurement, production and sales and marketing. We sit together, we try to see how best we can really manage the situation, and we believe that hopefully, in a couple of months, things should really, really improve from here, and things can improve. But as of now, like I said, still, we have been managing it, I would say, reasonably well, because this problem is not new. And so we feel that probably in some time, some alternate options will emerge, and the situation will become better.
So you're still expecting that within possibly the next half a year or so, things should improve?
Definitely, hopefully much before that. And so we are working hard. I can only say that we are really, really leaving no stone unturned to make sure that we can really increase our production and improve the supplies.
Moving on to a couple of questions on the retail side, how are you looking at your network, and especially if you can give me a sense of how are your the rural side really? How's the rural market for Hyundai in the last few months?
So look, on the network front, of course, in terms of quantity, the reach is there, no two ways about it. At the same time, what we now want is to improve the quality further, and that is where this concept of signature outlets came in, where we really want to improve the customer experience. So we're really working on that aspect. We are working on the service aspect as well. The second aspect which is most important also is this whole concept of phygital. And I believe that with Hyundai's 360-degree platform, Click to Buy, we are again trying to give a very good online car purchasing experience to the customers, and that has also received a lot of interest from the customers, and especially on the pre-sale side, we are getting a lot of inquiries and a lot of bookings, and customers are visiting the website. So we believe going forward, this also will become a very critical asset. Already 35 to 40% of our inquiries are from the digital source, and we are now getting into hyper local marketing. We are training our dealer sales manpower to really take care of this customer, because his expectations are a little bit different. On the rural front, a couple of things are happening. Not only is the network improving, but because of this digital click to buy, I think the gap between urban and rural is reducing, because this really, because rural customers are as digital savvy as their urban counterparts. Also, we have taken an initiative of having those mobile service vans, because we believe that service becomes a very important aspect, and sometimes it may not be feasible to have a full-fledged physical workshop there. So we are using those mobile service vans to really take care of the customer needs. The whole idea is that really every customer can really buy a Hyundai car with a lot of confidence, not only in terms of the customer experience while buying, but also in terms of right through his life. And that is why, in fact, we are really working on the total cost of ownership. You would have seen that in terms of maintenance, our cars are much cheaper to really maintain. Then we have introduced a concept of a wonder warranty, which is also something very unique, because what we found out was that in India, many Hyundai customers really don't drive the car so much. Then they, a 3-year warranty, probably we had the option of giving them a 4-year or a 5-year warranty at no extra cost. So we have introduced that option, and almost 50% of the customers are opting now for a 4-year or a 5-year wonder warranty option. So like I said, everything starts with the customer, sometimes with a latent need, because this was not really expressed by the customer, but we could see from the data that maybe there's an opportunity there to give a more extended warranty to the customers, and that is what we have been able to do, and that is really delighting the customer. End goal is customer delight, and you have to continuously evolve and continuously improve to improve the customer experience.
And in doing that, digital is of course going to play a huge role.
Extremely important, and we are really trying to improve even the website or the customer experience there also, in terms of how fast the website can be, how we can really make it more convenient. So the whole idea is really use all the digital medium. In our showrooms also now we have a configurator, where the customers can really go and he can see how the car looks. He can open the door digitally and see inside, and a lot of accessory options and how will the car look. So again, like I said, the whole idea is like this omni-channel approach, where customer can maybe start his journey sitting at home, complete his journey maybe in the showroom, and also post service also. In fact, post sales and post service also, the whole digital experience. In fact, we introduced the Hyundai Mobility Membership Program, where not only are we looking at the things related to the car, but also in terms of dining options, in terms of entertainment. Again, being a lifetime partner for our valued Hyundai customers.
Okay, one final question, Mr. Garg. Obviously, there are challenges in the market, but you have a positive outlook towards the future. Can you talk about the future in the next couple of years?
Look, I think as Hyundai, we have completed 25 years in India. We believe 25 is an age where you are at the peak of your youth and brimming with energy, and that is what Hyundai is doing. And you would have seen that we have constructed a new corporate headquarters. I wish you come and see it. It's very modern and very keeping in mind the millennials' expectation. And really taking care of your body, mind, and soul, taking care of sustainability. This shows that in these times when people are talking about reducing the physical space and maybe work from home, Hyundai is so confident that we are going ahead and really building, making a space which can really create, innovativeness in our employees as well, so that they can really bring out some solutions in line with the new age customers' expectations. So that is one aspect of it. We have introduced some new technologies, so many new technologies. Last 2 years have seen us introduce some 10 or 12 new models. Now we are introducing the N Line range, entering new segments. Already announced that 2.5 to 3 years we'll have a mass market EV. So what I'm trying to say is our confidence in India is really growing. We have in fact showcased the Nexo fuel cell EV as hydrogen EV as well, and of course the Ioniq 5. So my point is, we have a very strong parent in HMC, from whom we get a lot of support. We do the market research, and as and when we feel the time is right, there is so much of a choice. We can always introduce more and more products. We feel Indian market at 27 per thousand car penetration, lot of upside, lot of opportunities there. We just have to make sure that we keep on giving those innovation and technology based solutions to the customers, and of course, really grow the volumes and market share in India.
On that note, Mr. Garg, thank you so much for speaking to Mobility Outlook. As always, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Dipanshu. Thank you very much, and always a pleasure to talk to you as well. Thank you very much.